Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Courtside Story. And today we'll be talking about the final series and some of the narratives surrounding the players in it. Um, so, Mari, why don't you start since you were the only one who
Bucks
had
too.
predicted Suns in six, bro?
Like I think it was like a damn good series, first of all,
Yeah, for sure.
and thankfully it was like injury free, like as opposed to everything else that went down this year. So that was pretty cool. But I can't really blame the Suns or say that the Bucks didn't deserve it or anything went different than it should have. Like I wanted the Suns to win, but I think Giannis was too good. Middleton closed. Holiday was locking up the best players on the court all the time. So like I think they just played too fucking well. And
Bro,
this like could be the beginning
isn't
of
that the
like I don't
definition
know
of being a better
Giannis.
team?
Yeah, they were
Then why
undoubtedly
did
the
you
better
predict?
team. Like
Then why did you predict? Or did you think going into
because
it,
I
Suns
didn't
could have
think
been the better
Giannis
team?
would drop 50 points, 13 rebounds, and 5 blocks while Drew Holiday would lock up Booker with Middleton hitting the big shots. At no
And
point did I
nobody
think
expects
this.
CP to have so
Yeah,
many turnovers as well, bro. Like, I
I mean,
think
he
that was
had
the most
three.
surprising
He
thing.
had three.
that was
He had
today,
three
bro.
No,
That was
throughout the
out
today.
series,
today.
bro, he's had a
He
lot.
had
He had
8 in the
more,
first 2 games.
bro.
Yeah, in the
No, not
previous two
first two
games.
games, game three and four.
Previous
But
two.
yeah, bro, the point is that CP had more turnovers in this entire series than he had the entire playoffs, like in the entire Western Conference playoffs,
Yeah.
right?
And for a
So
guy,
that's like,
and for a guy who's like touted to be a playoff choker, this is not a good look for him.
yeah, so that brings us to the
You
first
just
point.
fucking want to shit on CP3,
Bro,
don't
bro,
you?
no,
I
no,
don't want to
It's
shit on
been
CP. I
we
like
pressed the
CP.
record button 30 seconds ago. Man's uttered CP3 turning it over like a bitch playoff joker. Like it's
bro,
been
bro,
10
bro,
seconds,
Yeah, bro,
it
bro.
brings
it's
us,
It's
felt
been
like
no, but like getting back to the
uh,
first, this thing, okay, is CP the player most to blame? Or most blame is to be attributed to for the Suns' loss?
bro, like on this thing, okay. Like I hate the way like fans and media and everyone talks about this. Like I hate that everything that's won in the NBA is like attributed to the fault of the loser. As if Giannis didn't just drop 50, 14, and 5, bro. Like I'd argue even if like the Suns were better than they actually were today, they would have still lost. Like, dude, the Bucks fired on all cylinders, bro. They were near perfect. Holiday played incredible defense. He had like spurts of offense. Middleton hit like every big bucket, bro. When some of his big shots, bro, the net wasn't moving. I'm not even kidding. It was ridiculous. And Giannis was unstoppable. He shot 15 of 17 from the free throw line. The one thing everyone says he can't do, he did perfectly. What do you want to blame
Bro,
like the Suns for
and
non-stop,
bro.
bro?
we even saw those stats, bro, where the Suns were like shooting 60% from the field, 50% from three. They were playing well, bro, I'd say, but they still lost. So I think it's just the Bucks were really good throughout the series.
Okay, so
Yeah.
See, but at some
I'm
point
gonna
you're gonna have to blame the loser, right? Like Giannis having 50 is a monumental performance, but what we expect is monumental performances in return to actually decide a victor. And if CP is not able to deliver on those, like if he's able to
bro,
beat
bro,
teams when they're playing average,
bro. Okay,
then
Bro,
yeah.
you
So
have the
adding,
best
bro,
best defender in the league guarding it,
one
bro.
second. Adding to Jairus's point, right?
hmm.
Bro, I would agree with you. I would agree with both of your points, okay, Mari and Aru, about the Bucks' incredible performance and stuff. But if the Bucks had won by like a great margin, which they didn't, okay, like it was a very small margin, especially in the final in the crunch time. Okay, so they could have made a comeback. So I don't agree with this. It's not like Giannis blew them out of the water completely. No, that didn't happen. Now, I find it a little hard to blame Devin Booker, though Devin Booker's game six performance was underwhelming. Okay, but like I would credit that more to Drew Holiday than assign blame to Devin Booker. But I find it hard to blame Devin Booker because man had like two 40-point games, and like he was incredible. All right, it throughout the series consistently. Okay, so the man who is inconsistent and is actually given credit for being one of the most consistent players in the league is CP3, the point guard, right? So, bro, like in a situation where Drew Holiday is the best defender for the guards on the floor, okay, maybe in the league, is locking down Devin Booker. The burden falls on CP3's shoulder. Like it is natural to blame CP3 in that scenario, and especially when you think about it. Okay, CP3 didn't attempt that many shots, bro. In the final game, he didn't like. Yeah, okay, cool. He was efficient. I'll give that to him. But he didn't attempt enough shots, bro. In a situation where your co-stars buckets aren't falling, your you have as the veteran, okay, as an elite, efficient, clutch scorer, okay, it falls on your shoulders to carry the load, bro. and he didn't.
Bro, Chris Paul attempted 20 shots in game 6. Okay,
19.
that is
11 of 19.
11 of 19 maybe, or 11 of 20, whichever one. But
Uh-huh.
he's not been attempting as many shots per game in every other game, bro. He took even these many shots only because Booker was cold as shit, bro.
Bro, and
That's
firstly,
just
Holiday was marking CP most of this. Like after game one,
No.
he was marking him, bro, most
dude,
of
they
the
were
series.
switching
I
all the
think
time. Like you
They were
can't just
switching, but
say they were
initially, bro,
switching
from
all
like
the
halftime, half
No,
line,
no,
bro,
not
Drew
true,
Holiday
not
used
true.
to come and pick him
Actually,
up, bro.
bro, in the first half, Drew Holiday marked CP. Okay. In the second half, Drew Holiday was picking up Booker from half court.
Bro, this is not the point, bro. Like, I agree. They were switching. Drew was playing both of them. He did a great job in the backcourt. But this bullshit of CP should have shot more. Like, dude, just because your co-star isn't playing, you can't just step up and do whatever you want, bro. The team is being coached a certain way. No one, I've not seen one post, one media analyst, anyone say a word about DeAndre Ayton, who had 12 points and 6 rebounds. Okay, like CP3's job at the end of the day is a point guard, bro. And there's a bunch of plays he created for Ayton also. And me and TJ were watching the game today, all right? There was this wide open layup in the paint.
Yeah.
CP had an insane dive. It was a crazy dive. I don't know how he got it to 18, only for a fat brick to be thrown up. Okay. My point is like you can't just sit here and say this is the main guy, this is a star. Let's just sit and blame him. Like CP3, don't get me wrong. Okay, CP3 was not phenomenal. CP3 was not like point guard mode activated. But I'm saying more than blaming the Suns, the larger reason this series was decided the way it was is because of how good the Bucks were. That's it. Like I think they were genuinely the better team. They deserve to win. It's not that if CP3 didn't choke, the Suns would have won and all. Like, and I'm not saying he choked. I'm just saying that it isn't as simple as that. It doesn't boil down to one player. There are so many things that could have gone different to change the outcome. And I hate that everyone's just going to say, like it's CP's legacy, so CP is a choker. I think that's a bullshit way to go about it.
But does this affect CP's all-time ranking, point guard ranking?
Of course. 100%. 100%.
Bro, coming to the finals,
No,
to me, ups his ranking. Just losing there doesn't bring you all the way down. To me, that's
No. One
yeah.
second. Again, like, no. I disagree. Okay, and I'll tell you why. Right? If you have to compare, right? So, would you put him as a top 5 PG all time? I wouldn't.
Dude, the reason I wouldn't do that is because I think Oscar Robertson and all is underrated as like not because CP isn't
No,
up
Oscar
there. There's a lot
Robertson-
of big
it-
names.
And
Oscar
because Oscar
Robertson-
has it.
Magic, Oscar, Steph, Isaiah. Okay. Would you give him the 5th spot? No.
It's tough,
No.
bro. John Stockton.
I would put like a kid or Gary Payton. So we're going to move on to the next narrative. Most NBA fans, media thought this, before this postseason. In fact, even when this postseason started, and it's that Giannis's play style is not compatible with the playoffs.
Yes.
And well, he came
Like
and
a lot
proved
of-
all the haters wrong.
Bro, he had a midi, which is what the most impressive thing is for me. The fact that he was able to
Yeah,
hit
yeah.
that mid-range shot.
He was playing like
Also,
Dirk,
like,
bro.
I think,
Like, I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Dude, like he
All
hit
those
some insane
fadeaways and
mid-range. I was just
Yeah.
going to say that, like the one-legged fadeaway was fucking insane. Okay, but I think the most like ridiculous stat line Giannis has put up this finals is that 15 of 17 from the free throw line today, bro. That was crazy. That was
I
just
think that's
insane. Like,
really
No,
busted
I mean,
their
bro,
balls.
look. I don't think any of these are like you can obviously feel free to disagree, but I don't think any of these are the most insane. Like what I would give him most props to. What I would give him most credit for, and which like I think is a common criticism, and I would agree with it, especially during the regular season, is his shot selection. Okay, during these playoffs, he attempted way more than most of his shots in the
facts,
paint.
bro.
Okay, and that's
Hmm.
playing to his strength.
He wasn't shooting as many threes also, bro.
He
Like,
was forget threes,
Yeah.
bro. Even mid-rangers, right? Ones you guys are giving him credit for, right? He was very selective about it. Okay,
He took the ones he made, bro. You're right.
exactly. He didn't just randomly dribble up and pull up for the mid-range. No, he would post, turn around, and then mid-range.
He has
Like,
a very
then take the
intelligent
mid-range.
game, bro. He has assists
Yes.
also.
Giannis
Like
did.
I've been saying for a while, Giannis is the modern day Shaq.
Well, even Shaq said
Yeah.
Giannis is the modern
Giannis
day
is
Shaq.
like the
bro.
modern day Shaq, like in terms of play style, in terms of
But
dominance.
I
think
would
it's a
not
very
peg Shaq
easy
to show up
comparison to make.
15 of 17 from the free throw line today, and that's why I'm giving Giannis so much credit for that, bro. Like, dude,
No,
I think if he didn't hit 15 of 17, dude, no, bro, dude, you can't just say all the days he misses it, it's his fucking fault. The one day he makes it, it's luck. One other thing I wanted to talk about was, did you guys see Giannis's comments after the game where he talked about how there were many times people asked me why I didn't leave Milwaukee, but I chose to stay. I chose to grind with this team because this is the team that I wanted to win with. And do you
Yeah.
think that's a knock on like some of the other teams that have,
Well,
other
he
players in the
does
league who
take,
form
he
super
literally
teams?
No,
does
bro.
say, no, one second.
He's
No,
Uh,
he does knock, and not because of what Mari just said, but if you look further into the interview, he literally said, it's easy for me to go
I
and
could have
join a
joined a
super
super
team,
team.
yeah,
exactly,
that's what.
and play my part to win the chip. And like, I'm not going to put anybody on the spot, okay? But that's easy. This is hard. And we did it, and we did it fucking right. Those were his exact words, right?
Yeah.
So yes, it is a knock for sure. Okay, like, but like that's not the point.
It's
The
a
point
knock,
is,
bro, but I think Giannis got fucking lucky. It's a league where a lot of things had to go right for Giannis to get to the finals.
If he was
Kevin
in
Durant,
Utah,
huh?
if he was in bloody Utah, we would not be
Bro,
seeing a Giannis trip today. Like it
yeah,
has a lot to do with the fact that his franchise is also so good, bro. They have a good coach, they have good scouting, they have Chris Middleton, they have Drew Holiday who's joined this
They
year.
got
Like,
lucky with Chris Middleton, bro. He was like an extra in a trade, bro. He
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
even
They were
like
trading
the
for
main thing
Brandon
of the
Knight.
trade.
yeah.
Yeah.
no, but like again, like bro, look, all of that I wouldn't say really like lucky, because all of this shit happens like quite often, like
Yeah,
who
yeah,
develops,
it's
who
not.
doesn't develop.
Yeah.
I would not call it luck. But that takes us to another narrative, right? Which Mari is very keen to discuss. Are the Bucks a super team?
What do you
I
guys
don't think
think,
so,
bro?
bro. I
Well,
don't
I
think so.
think who's
No,
the
no,
first reporter who said it? Who's the first reporter who said it?
Abhi,
no. But
who
a
gives
lot
a
of
fuck?
No,
that
no.
doesn't matter, right?
I just wanna like. There's
No,
some.
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know,
No,
even
because
I'm saying.
I don't know who's the first reporter, but like
okay,
Steve
because if
Jackson
it's
said it, for
Kendrick Perkins
example.
and all, I feel it already has it. The argument is already on one leg. Okay.
Oh Lord, yeah. Your question was just a slander perk.
Yeah, basically, not fair Kendrick Perkins. But
uh,
bro,
yeah, go on, TJ.
I think the Bucks. I definitely don't think the Bucks are a super team. You have one legitimate superstar, right? Who you can put at like on the level of guys like KD, LeBron, uh, Kawhi Leonard, guys like that, right? Guys who are fighting for all-time positions on the lists. So Chris Middleton and Drew Holiday are excellent role players. Brook Lopez also excellent role players, and I think that's where the Bucks front office strength lies, right? They're
No,
able to
so
attract these guys who
okay, so
perform their
just
roles and keep them around.
yeah, just to build up on what you said, I feel like firstly, it's a little unfair to call Drew Holiday and
Yeah.
Chris Middleton role players. Okay, they may not be superstars;
No,
they're all stars. That's what I think. Okay, I can genuinely name at least 3 teams off the top of my head, right? That on paper are better. Okay, than this thing, or then the Bucks, and at least another, maybe a couple more that are as good. All right, and I'll tell them Lakers, Clippers, and well,
Nets.
Nets, of course, the Nets.
see,
Right?
bro,
Nah, bro,
I would
I
like,
agree with
and this is
this.
not related
Yeah,
at all. I'd say this year's Lakers team is a super team. Last year's wasn't.
yeah,
But
I think that's debatable though. Like, just getting that. I don't
yeah,
think we should debate it, but I do think that's debatable.
yeah,
Like,
even
I
I
don't
agree.
think that's
It is
fine.
very debatable, but I'm not going to get into that debate. But getting back to it, right? Yes, I think, for example, these 3 teams are super teams. Okay, well, maybe not the
That I
Clippers
agree
as
with
much.
you, bro.
Okay,
No,
so
no, I
so
agree with you, but like one thing I want to add to that is I think the Bucks are also not a super team because like if you look at the way that team is structured, right? For a lot of these guys, this is a lot of first timers on this team in terms of like, getting this deep in the playoffs and performing. And I feel like one requisite for a super team is unless you put together like Harden, KD, and Kyrie, you probably need all the players on the super team to be like relatively experienced, veteran value, things like, having that kind of playoff mentality in place. I think the Bucks did very well to bring that out, even though they didn't like have that from before. Like that's something that they like you saw them develop that through this. And something damn cool, by the way, which I don't know if you all realize, but I think only the Nets took the Bucks to 7 games this year. Only the Nets.
Only
And
Kevin
so
Durant.
only Kevin fucking Durant, not CP and Book, not nobody else could do jack shit to take these motherfuckers to 7 games. And I think that's also
Yeah.
insane. Like from a Bucks point of view, that shows how dominant they were in the playoffs.
Bro, the Bucks have been like it's been a fucking movie for the Bucks because the Brooklyn series was an absolute battle. Like it actually, looking back
yeah,
on it,
it's
is
insane.
fucking crazy, bro. It
It was
was
mad.
Bro,
warfare.
like after they lost those first 2 games, I remember we were all discussing, fuck, it's going to be a sweep and stuff.
Yeah, bro, because of Tyus Brown
Bro, but
being
like, dude,
too.
none of that. Like, I think the most insane part of that series was Kevin Durant's foot being too long. Right? That was
Yeah.
just, I was fucking
Imagine that KD almost beat the NBA champs. Just that his foot was
Yeah.
like a little big, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Fucking-
if he would know,
He-
like the type of the size of shoe that is meant for him, well, the Bucks wouldn't be champions. Okay.
Okay,
Yeah,
wait,
we
wait.
can.
Yeah.
This kind of like raises kind of something that I want to ask you guys. Who do you think is the best player in the league right now? After today, after Giannis won that chip, Finals MVP, everything. Who do you think is the best player
Kevin
in the league?
Durant.
Bro, but
Aru?
dude, I was seeing this somewhere, bro. Like they were comparing Kevin Durant to like Shaq. Like even though when Shaq was in his prime, he was probably the best player in the league, but people still never considered him the best player in the league. Like you get what I'm saying? They'll still
get
argue
it.
about like other players.
I'm not sure I get what you're saying. Every
I
single
don't think this
interview
is
I've
right.
ever seen,
Yeah.
everyone
No,
has
but
said
they'll say
Shaquille
he's the most
O'Neal.
dominant, he's crazy,
Yeah.
everything.
Bro,
But
bro.
nobody said this guy's the best player in the league.
No,
Like,
bro. Okay,
dude, that time,
I have a question. Who do you say,
yeah.
during that three-peat was the best player in the league? If not Shaq, who do you say was?
Arif, fuck
Iverson.
Shaq. Tell me who's the best now in your opinion. I want to understand.
I
why
think
you're
it's
very-
Kevin Durant. I think it's Kevin
I also
Durant.
think it's
but-
Kevin Durant. I think back then
but
you could make
it's
an
a-
argument for Iverson.
Yeah, probably.
First
bro.
of all, like, see, bro, I think that this is a slightly different comparison because everyone calls Shaq most dominant and not the best because, like, he's a lazy guy who, like, didn't hit his free throws. Kevin Durant, is gonna
Wait,
make
wait.
everything
I'm
possible.
gonna proffer up.
Like-
I'm gonna proffer up in a devil's advocate kind of opinion. That's just what I like to do. Okay.
Come big man.
I'm gonna go ahead and say it's
Some
Giannis.
shot advocate you are. Some
You're gonna
absolute
say-
Who?
third
I'm
opinion.
gonna go ahead and
is
say it's Giannis, bro. And I feel like there is no reason why you can't put Giannis on the same level as Kevin Durant. It's simply because of that.
You
I'm
can,
not.
bro. You
I'm
can.
not
You
saying.
can,
and I'm-
yeah. Like
Yeah.
I won't, dude. Like I won't shit on you for saying that, bro. But I still think it's KD.
Yeah, I won't
okay,
agree.
Look.
And
And
in
just,
my mind,
just
I'll
hear,
make fun of you.
bro, you can make fun of me here only. It's fine. Okay, I don't give a fuck. All right. But and I'll tell you exactly why. All right. Yes, Kevin Durant is a way more complete scorer, 100%. Okay. And in terms of he's a more complete offensive player. Let's just leave fuck scoring. Okay. But Giannis is so dominant on both sides of the field, right? And like if he does play with this kind of shot selection and stuff like that, his weaknesses or his shortcomings with respect to the jump shot which he has to develop and shit like that, they're mitigated to a huge extent. Okay, so I think that puts him pretty much on the same level as KD. Okay, and therefore
Dude,
I think he has.
that makes a lot of sense, honestly. Like, I think the two-way point you made, like, I think
Yeah.
that's very valid. And I think, like, we should not, like, sour this high note we've put Giannis on, given he just won a chip today. We shouldn't, like,
Yeah.
start talking KD shit.
Slander him.
Let's just... So, I
say,
agree. Like, I
can't
think...
pull up a three. Can't make free.
No, I just want to say, like, Giannis was freaking insane today. Like, I was rooting for the Suns and, like, I was watching him kill them, dude. Like, they were
Yeah.
just, like, trying to get buckets back because they knew they couldn't stop Giannis. And that's insane to do that in a finals game, putting up 50 points like that. Like, Giannis was too good. The Bucks were too good. And, like, I hope this trip doesn't become marred by injuries, crap like that, because this was one of the most hard-fought, like, final series, at least, that I've seen. And
Mhm.
everyone played, like, dogs out, hard out, like,
Bro, all the
hardcore shit.
games are so close, bro. All
That's
the
what
games are
matters.
so close.
So, with that high note that Krishna just mentioned with respect to Giannis's game, even though, keep in mind, 3 out of 4 people here think KD is the best player in the league, please let us know if anyone disagrees with it and anyone actually thinks Giannis is at least as good, if not better, than KD. Yeah, thank you.
And also let us know if CP will retire without a ring forever.